You see, Fox is one of these that teaches that the moon can be God, the sun can be God, the earth can be God, a river can be God, anything and everything can be God. That's ancient Babylonianism. And we have a leader, professed to be a leader in evangelical Christianity, who is suggesting these new insights will be helpful to reach the postmodern generation. Fox continues to write, this coming together of the historical Jesus and the cosmic Christ will make Christianity whole at last. Christianity has been out of touch with its core, its center, its sense of mystical practice and cosmic awareness. Perhaps a new ecumenical council will be forthcoming in our lifetime. This one would be deeply ecumenical, would call forth the wisdom of all the world's religions. Is the emerging church leading to the beliefs of ancient Babylonianism? Absolutely. Or another one of Fox's book, Creation Spirituality, in which you see three ladies that represent Fox's view of the female trinity, and a serpent surrounding the three ladies, which is in reference to the oneness of life based on the belief that evolution is God. A calling together of all religions, a global political unity, a global economic unity, and a global spirituality to resolve the problems of our day. Back to Sweet's book, Quantum Spirituality, page 1. He writes, the Christian mind is failing to comprehend the times, our times. The New Light apologetic chronicled in this book is devoted to enfranchising and energizing Christians to connect their faith with the indigenous historical place in which God has chosen them to live. The emergence of this New Light apologetic is a harbinger and a hope that a new age-old world is born into the church, even that the church may now be on the edge of another awakening. Amidst all the cliff-hanging circumstances and conditions of the church, the Spirit is at work. All around there's evidence that the new church is learning to dance a new rhythm. And then he continues, page 7, the New Light movement is characterized by bizarre, sometimes anxious alliances of a ragbag assortment of preachers, theologians, pastors. You see, it's happening. Not by surprise. 1995, two-tape pack called The Tides of Change, Riding the Next Wave in Ministry. Leonard Sweet, Rick Warren. You see, what is happening today within evangelical Christianity is the apostasy, which the Bible foretold. Should there be another generation of young people, I wonder how many will be left to teach them God's Word. Rob Bell, his videos are, well, within almost every Christian school, promoting this new insight to Christianity and how to be a witness. Rob Bell suggests in his book Velvet Elvis, for a mind-blowing introduction to emergence theory and divine creativity, set aside 3 months and read Ken Wilber's A Brief History of Everything. No mention of the Scriptures. But Ken Wilber, who back in the 80s, one of the major promoters of New Age thought, anything and everything is God, man can be God because evolution is God. Is this the direction that we want to see Christianity headed? You see, what is unfolding is exactly what Paul warned the church at Corinth. He said, I'm concerned lest you be deceived, as Eve was deceived by the serpent. So you too be deceived and leave the simple gospel for another gospel, because there is another Spirit and there is another Christ. The world is being set up for the third leg of the three-legged stool. The global spirituality is coming together, and those who once professed faith and trust in God's Word are being drawn into the picture. And of course, many of them don't know it. The Bible proclaims in the last days to be characterized by apostasy. What do you suppose apostasy would look like? As Paul wrote, in latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. What do you suppose doctrines of demons would look like? So I suggest to you this morning, as we look at current trends that are unfolding, that we may be headed clearly in that direction, to that one world, global spirituality, the counterfeit bride. And John, Revelation 18, verse 4 and 5, wrote, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her, my people, that ye may not be partakers of her sins, and that receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.'" Come out of her. But today, when the message is proclaimed of the deception that's underway and warnings are made, people say, "You're too negative. You're against everything." You see, we are living in the very days which the Scriptures foretold, the great deception underway. My prayer is that God's people would stand up. Wherever I travel, there's a remnant. People who say, "We can't find a church anymore that teaches the Word." But there are pastors that teach the Word, and church leaders, and support them, and proclaim the truth of the gospel according to the Scriptures in the midst of all of this, and continue to warn others. I can tell you from experience, it's not easy. The emerging church, the road to Rome, it's apostasy. The emerging church, road to Babylon, it's part of the apostasy. It's interesting, Jesus asked the question, recorded in Luke chapter 18, "When the Son of Man returns, shall he find faith?" The faith. I used to wonder what that question meant. But as we see the trends underway, it seems the question can be answered. There's a remnant. But we know there's hope for the church. Jesus proclaimed, Matthew 16, verse 18, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." And because we're here, there's still time left. My prayer is that each one of us have a passion for the truth and a compassion for those that are deceived, and to boldly proclaim the truth in the midst of all of this darkness as we become witnesses for Jesus Christ, and point those that are lost to the only message of hope found throughout this book of God's Word from beginning to end, the gospel of Jesus Christ according to the Scriptures. May God bless each one of you.